Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Hey, welcome in. Got you an update on your forecast for your Monday. Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Foothills, mountains, areas of eastern West Virginia. If you're in the light green, there is enough for a slight chance of a shower and storm with some light rain accumulation today. Elsewhere, everywhere else, generally a low chance of a sprinkle with some partly sunny to at times overcast cloud cover lingering. Over the next 5 days, there will be some more measurable rain that should increase again as the week goes on. Some of the higher numbers, the quarter to half-inch range with locally higher amounts, favors the foothills, mountains, northern panhandle potentially too. Wednesday onwards, there will be enough for some marginal risks of excessive rain. Again, this starts on Wednesday for some local flash flood potential that exists. That is not the case today, but again, some of the foothill, high elevation spots, southeast West Virginia, there is a low chance of an isolated shower and storm. Best potential does favor southeast, where there is a front away from us. But enough out there. Be mindful of that slight chance. Fly Saver forecast, it starts at home. Tampa, near 88 today. Chance of showers and storms, watching for some heavy rain in areas kind of the up and down the western half of Florida today. From panhandle to panhandle, highs near 80. Chance of a sprinkle. Mix of sun and clouds, maybe more clouds than sun lingering for a bit. Some patchy fog, potentially again. Lows around 60 degrees, give or take. For again, foothills, mountains, eastern panhandle, a slight chance of a shower and storm. Low to mid 80s for highs in the lower elevations and lows in the low 60s for you tonight. I'll watch for that slight chance of a shower and storm. Favoring again, foothills, mountains, southeastern areas of the state. Be mindful of some of that fog that develops again overnight tonight and may impact your Tuesday morning drive. To the south, slight chance of showers and storms. Favors foothills, mountains, and southeast. Wednesday onwards, we'll be back to some daily chances of showers and storms with highs generally in the mid.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Live from West Virginia's capital city with news from across the state. This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and Metro News' Dave Allen.
It's a Monday edition of Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Dave Allen and host here. 2 o'clock hour. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. Open line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. Your chance to weigh in on any subject at 1-800-765-TALK or text 304-TALK-304. It's Metro News Midday.
Metro News Midday is presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com. Join in by calling 800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK-304. Let's go live to downtown Charleston. Here's Dave Allen.
Welcome into the show, Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Dave Allen here, Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. We'll get to your calls and texts, bottom of the hour, 1-800-765-TALK or text 304-TALK-304. Welcome into our program now, our good friend, Andrew Donaldson. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm a little worried, though. I'm a Summersville kid. I'm not sure how I feel about that whole, Jimmy Buffettization of my beloved Nicholas. Me and that Ron feller may have to have some words over that one. I don't know. I mean, we got the Kitchen Bluegrass Festival been going forever, the Mount Nebo Gospels thing. Heck, we could do, if they ever take Woody Fest on the tour, we like our hip-hop up there in the lake regions, do that. But I don't know, brother.
I'm going to tell you, I got to give big props to my man Woody Woods from our sister station here at Charleston 107.3 The Beat. I mean, they told him it couldn't be done, and he put together one heck of a lineup, and it wasn't just hip-hop. There was a little country thrown in there as well at Shawnee Sports Complex Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. Unfortunately, it got called a little early because there was lightning there, and folks, you can't play with lightning. Rain's one thing, but lightning's an entirely different thing. So I think DaBaby had to postpone his performance, but I think he is going to come back. But, hey, to Uncle Woodrow, say congratulations, man. You did well.
Yeah, we like our diversified music. Even growing up in the '90s when we first started getting hip hop, because we got cable TV and in living color on Sunday nights, and you got to start seeing some hip hop acts and be like, "Whoa, what is that? That's not country or western." So we've always liked diversified music in West Virginia, even when I was a kid. So good stuff.
I don't know what this growing up in the '90s stuff means because I grew up in the '70s, buddy, and '80s. So I got a little bit of age on you there. By the way, just 2 days ago was the anniversary of MTV making its debut.
Yeah.
Remember that when they used to actually play music videos? Remember that?
Well, I had to go to my buddy's house up in town because we didn't have cable and or satellite until the mid '90s. We finally got Dish up on the mountain. But he had MTV and we watched it occasionally. But yeah, it's I was an '80s and '90s kid, so I'm about 10 years younger than you, give or take. So
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, but they don't, and now that's completely gone. So
Yeah.
it's you can't even make your MTV jokes. We're already aged out of that. That's
Well,
amazing. To me.
yeah, and that there is a channel, and I get it. It's MTV Classic that still
Yeah.
does videos, and my wife was the world's biggest Duran Duran fan of the 1980s, and so yesterday we're flipping through the channels, and MTV Classic comes on, and New Moon on Mondays on, and suddenly my wife, I think, was 14 years old again, chasing Simon Le Bon and the Taylor Boys limo around Charleston, which she actually did when they came in concert here. By the way, I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Are you going to sing a few bars of Rio?
I'm
or how we
not.
gonna do
No,
this?
I'm not. No,
Okay.
I'm not going to sing a few bars of anything. All right. So a couple of things I want to do. Get your take. Number one, and this is a West Virginia story, but of course you follow everything you write for West Virginia Watch from time to time. You do some of their commentaries. This whole thing on the clothing vouchers and where's the money? Where did the money go? Or the money was always there, and we've had this back and forth. And I said during the noon hour, Andrew, I got to give Governor Morrissey credit because he was able to unite people, Republicans and Democrats together, coming together, saying what the heck. And so the governor issued a statement earlier in the day. I don't know whether you had a chance to read that or not about where it went. TJ kind of looked at it, and I think his famous quote was, "You're comparing apples to bowling balls," which that may go down as one of your all-time best quotes. And then State Treasurer Larry Pack was out with an immediate statement after that, within moments of the governor putting his statement out. So your take on the whole thing?
Yeah, and then one of the longest Twitter posts in the history of official West Virginia Twitter posting from the government, I think, because that thing was long. I was sitting there reading it while I was getting an oil change. There's a couple things in it. You started out with the really important part of this where you're saying united people. What's united, though, is a lot of the enemies that the governor has made politically over the last however many months, especially picking fights with the legislatures, picking fights with the different coalitions inside of West Virginia politics. Remember, he won a multiple person primary with a little over 30%. He's not massively popular, and there are factions that are against him, and everybody, they've kind of been waiting on their thing to jump on with this governor. And it sure looks like this was the meeting of the man in the moment where everybody kind of decided, okay, we're going to get the governor on this. The response tells you the story. They've come out this strong. They've got graphics. They've got social media posts. The governor has made multiple social media posts. There's been statements. This rang the bell, and the governor's office understands it. The governor's political enemies understand it. People that might be positioning to run against him understand it. And that's why you're seeing the kerfluffle. They can't say this is just a media story because this was actually being driven by a lot of the political players inside the state of West Virginia. And that's before you get to the thing about what's best for the kids and best for education. That's just the machinations behind the scenes of it, which is fascinating.
I mean, on this show last week, on Friday, we talked to Delegate Hollis Lewis. Thursday, I think it was, we talked to Delegate Sean Hornbuckle. The Talk Line boys had State Treasurer Larry Pack. Now, again, State Treasurer Pack is a numbers guy. He's a revenue kind of guy, and he is as Republican as you get. Lewis and Hornbuckle are as Democrat as you get. The state Democratic Party chair, Mike Pushkin, has been out with statements on behalf of the party, and they all seem to be united. And I don't know that today's release from the governor, maybe I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I'm just saying, I don't know that it answers a lot of questions.
No, and because one of my founding principles when I do analysis of politics is always follow the money. And when you read what the governor's putting out and you're reading all the commentary, the thing is, this really does come down to money. More specifically, they're saying, well, we have limits on this funding and we have surplus. So the two terms we hear over and over on the radio and on Metro News, and you say it on your program, well, anytime there's a problem, all of a sudden the surplus comes up, right? And then it's a funding and how much funding and these kind of terminology words. But the truth is, it's just money. So follow the money. Is there surplus? Is there funding limits? And the thing is, a lot of people point out, like, wait a minute, this is a governor who spent a lot of time in his governorship cutting funding to things and cutting funding to other things, and then using surplus and grants and things like that to fill in the gaps. And some of that was handed to him and wasn't all his fault. We know about the $400 million from the beginning and all that there. Some of it's not his fault, but he's been in office long enough now that a lot of people are going, wait a minute, you're the guy always talking about cutting. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, I didn't have a choice about cutting this, when it's kind of pretty clear it is, even if you read through the very, very long media posts about how this funding works. And then once again, this magical surplus that always shows up when we have an argument like, well, we're just going to plug it with a surplus. Well, if we're plugging it with a surplus means that whatever you thought you were going to do originally didn't go well, and now you're reaching for that tool to fix it. I think just on an intrinsic level, people understand like, okay, we've just kind of heard this story too many times, and this is the one people are going to dig in and fight over.
Talking again with Andrew Donaldson. And in the meantime, speaking of money, it comes to light now, and everybody's jumping on this. Stephen Allen Adams, the Ogden newspapers wrote about it. I saw a post earlier from Sean Fluharty about this. I'll just read it here. You are cordially invited to a special retreat series for Team Morrissey with special guest Patrick Morrissey, governor of West Virginia, and Napa Valley in wine country on September the 14th through the 15th. And there is also one at Stonewall Resort here in West Virginia, October the 7th through the 8th. Now, you can sponsor this, the host level, 2 tickets to both retreats and special host events for $25,000. Co-host, just 2 tickets to one retreat, $10,000. You can be a sponsor for $5,000, and you get 1 ticket to one retreat. And you can be a mere supporter for a dinner ticket at one of the 2 retreats for $2,500. And so, I mean, it could be said, Andrew, that if you're having an event in Napa Valley, maybe it's not the best optics in the world. I mean, and it's just Team Morrissey is what it says, paid for by Team Morrissey, and there's an RSVP and so on and so forth. Just saying, as somebody whose wine, generally speaking, comes from a box, I don't know if that's the best image right now. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and to be fair, he did this before. Remember, we covered this, about a year ago when he had a fundraiser out on the West Coast, and that came up during the campaign season. But yeah, you want to talk about bad timing and tone deaf all hitting at the same time. I don't know about a lot of people, but I'm pretty sure my VA check isn't going to cover any of those expenses right there. But this is part of the game. You have to fundraise money, but you also have to do it in a way that's kind of socially acceptable to the political class. This is a timing issue. If this had came out a couple months ago, it probably wouldn't be that story. Coming out the same day, and it gets brought up with the TANF, which, by the way, that's not accidental. Let's all be adults here. It's bad timing, and it is tone deaf looking, and it doesn't look right. And you got to just understand, we're going to get stories like this between now and the primary in 2028 with the governor. These things are going to keep popping up. How he does things, how he fundraises, how he interacts with the government. The primary is on, and these are the stories that are going to fuel that primary. We're just getting a jump start on it even before we get this general election done this year for the midterms.
Andrew, as we speak, the president is taking questions right now in the Oval Office. And again, we've got it on mute, so I'm not exactly sure what he's taking questions about. But he's got a whole group of people there in the Oval Office right now. Last week, the big news was about Tony Fauci, Anthony. I called him Tony like we hang out together, but Dr. Anthony Fauci, of course, the face of COVID and the fight against it, and so on and so forth. And I think he just took the 5th again. Oh, he just took the 5th again while we were sitting here talking. He just literally took the 5th again. That's the way that it seemed like anyway. Your take on that whole song and dance show, dog and pony, whatever your analogy wants to be, last week.
Yeah, well, Anthony Fauci deserves all the hoisting of his own petard he's getting here. He let it get to his head. He decided he wanted to be a celebrity. And it's really sad because he has one of the most remarkable medical careers before COVID, where he was going to go down as a really important figure in public health before it got to his head and his ego got to him. However, what we need is answers. And the American people that suffered greatly under COVID, both in life and in liberty and in treasure, deserve some answers, but we're not going to get it through this grandstanding stuff. If they do a contempt resolution, that's not going to go anywhere in court, because the first thing they're going to do is play that clip of Rand Paul throwing Anthony Fauci's lawyer out, and that's going to get dismissed pretty quickly. This is all grandstanding all the way. So we can rightfully bash Anthony Fauci for his grandstanding and his ego trip and the mistakes he made, and we should. He was a public official. He's our employee. We're entitled to do that. Understand what a lot of these senators and other people and a lot of the commentariat are doing is just a bad of grandstanding, and that's not going to get us any closer to the answers either, unfortunately.
And what are the big questions? I mean, I said this in the local show, Andrew. I said, I think where a lot of people have questions, you're never going to get everybody to agree on vaccinations, okay? People get them, people don't, people are, so let's just put that aside. I think that one of the big questions that I think we still haven't got definitive on is where did it start and how did it start? That's the thing. And I had somebody at the local show today, called me disingenuous, said, where? No, actually, we don't, because we've heard different theories, but we still don't 100% know. And Dr. Fauci's own story has changed.
Yeah, because he doesn't know either. And obviously there was a lab involvement at some point. Was that the genesis? Was that the thing that sped it up? Was there a leak? We know at some point there was a lab over there involved in some shape or form, but no, we probably will never know. And it's a really shame because, again, a lot of people suffered greatly. The real lesson I think we should take away from this is when people had a crisis and people had power at the same time, how did they use that crisis? Did they use it to try to take care of the public, or did they use it to further their own power and their own agendas and to use that power against other people? I think that's the dividing line we can, because that's just, recorded history 5 years now looking back on it. And a lot of our public officials failed that because they saw it as a power issue, not a health crisis that they needed to take care of people. Those people we should probably pay really close attention to and learn a lesson there.
And what I gathered from reading some of the excerpts of Fauci's diary was that, with all due respect, and we all have to have ego to a certain extent, especially those of us that are in this business, but he likes him some him.
Oh yeah, it clearly got to his head. He is not the first public official that it went to his head. There's a lot. You want to talk about lessons? One of the lessons is scientists should not be on TV because they don't communicate to normal people well. And I say that, look, it's what we do is hard. That's why not everybody does it. Being able to communicate to an audience, academics and scientists, they're not really made for the viral media era, and they just weren't very good at it, but they need to get good at it because that's the era we live in. Politicians aren't good about talking about science. They don't know how to talk about it without grandstanding it. And us in the media, we deserve some blame here too.
Sure, absolutely.
We got to learn how to not flame the fires of this stuff when there is a crisis like we did. Look, you just covered the flooding. Everybody knows I'm not going to attack the governor today, whether I like him or not. I'm not going to attack the representatives. We got flooding. We need all the attention. Everybody turns it down a notch, right? Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, something like COVID, instead of turning it down a notch and solving the problem at hand, everybody kind of turned it back up because everybody saw dollar signs and power struggles. And that's the lesson we need to learn. Human nature is undefeated unless we beat it down with a stick, and we need to do better next crisis.
Well, and there will be a next crisis. I mean, they had predicted for years that COVID was coming and something like this was going to happen. It had been predicted for years. And look, I'm not a scientist, and I'm not going to throw off on the scientific community because, as you said, they're not very good on television, radio. I'm also not very good in the scientific community, okay? Yeah. So everybody's got their strengths and weaknesses, but we were told decade after decade after decade that something like this is going to happen. By God, it did, and as a whole, we were not prepared for it.
Yeah, you got to hold government accountable all the time because the one time you don't is usually when the crisis shows up, and then we all suffer.
Yeah. Talking with Andrew Donaldson, I want to switch gears just for a moment and talk about national Democratic politics. People know I'm a big fan of Bill Maher. I don't necessarily agree with him on everything, but I reposted his clip from this past Friday night show when he basically said my vote, meaning my vote is in play right now because I am not going to, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not going to cast my vote for people, for causes that were on the wrong side of the Cold War. And, of course, he was talking about those at the far left of the Democratic Party, and we see these battles going on in places like Michigan and so on and so forth. I mean, I think the Democrats, in my opinion, the Democrats have a golden opportunity here. You have an unpopular president nationwide, not in West Virginia, but you have an unpopular president polling somewhere at about 30 to 33, 35% at best. The Democrats have a real opportunity here, but maybe much like Republicans in the past, Andrew, they can't seem to get out of their own way. And now you've got this clown show, my words, on the far left of the Democratic Party, trying to basically take over and say to moderates, you're pretty much not welcome here. They got a golden opportunity here, and they are about to, as the saying goes, they are about to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, I think.
Yeah, or at least make it a lot less of a victory than it could have been. They're probably still going to get the House no matter what just because of the mathematics of it. Could they get the Senate? They got to have a really good run to try to get the Senate. I think it's probably going to be a vote or two out of reach. And these are the things that'll really damage them. You look at the cluster that is the main Senate election right now, things like that. But very important to remember here, everybody talks about the Republican Party and President Trump dominating it for over a decade now and what comes after Trump. But remember, the Democratic Party for the exact same amount of time has been just as dependent on Donald Trump because everything they've done has been anti-Donald Trump. They're going through a bit of an identity crisis too.
There wasn't
And
a
you
lot of
have these-
solutions, in my opinion. I mean,
No.
our only solutions, and what I was hearing out there from a lot of them is, well, we're not Donald Trump.
We know
Okay, what's
what-
going to take more than that,
Well, we have it in our lifetimes. We know how a Democratic wins on a national level. That Bill Clinton did it. Barack Obama did it. You run on big picture aspirational stuff. You run as somewhat of a moderate. And then once you get in there, if you have progressive tendencies, you start legislating more progressively and try to move the ball forward to your ideology. It works. It works every time you try. What doesn't work is this DSA stuff and our hardcore progressive friends who think they're going to bring forth the revolution. That's not going to work. People aren't going to go along with you. And if you're not very, very careful, you're going to take a mild election here where you might win a little bit. You could have won a whole lot if you can police your own party. Now, both parties have that problem. They can't police their fringes right now. And the party that polices their fringe the best is probably going to win the most, not only in this midterm, but in 2028 when we get a new president.
All right. Remind people where they can follow you, because you're a great social media follow on X. I know that.
Yeah, I had 4 for the fire on the X. I didn't think about having to say that on the radio when I got that handle. Should have worked on that. Herdtailmedia.com, one-stop shopping for everything I do. West Virginia Watch, very proud to commentate. And as soon as you take a vacation, hopefully filling in for you, because I love working with you, my friend.
All right. Well, you're hired. Why don't you? Can you be here by like 2:45?
2:51. They're working on the bridge. We'll have to work on that.
All right. Andrew Donaldson, appreciate it, my friend. Thanks a lot.
Anytime, sir. Thank you.
2:24. We're back after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Need a truck that's ready for work, weekends, and everything in between? Right now at Dan Cava GMC, get up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500, or save up to $4,000 off all new GMC Canyon Elevations, offering bold styles, advanced technology, and everyday practicality. Come explore our all-new GMC Yukons, built for busy families and big adventures. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thorold.
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
Where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
first thing I hear when those mics go on is you just coughing, and I'm just like, this guy.
You don't appreciate me giving that show a little ratings boost?
Coughing directly onto these microphones? No, I don't want it.
Hotline on Metro News Television.
Today.
Welcome back to the show, 228 Metro News Midday. Heard all over the great state of West Virginia. Great radio stations like WJLS in Beckley, our flagship here in Charleston, WCHS, WKMZ Clarksburg, WDNE in Elkins, WKLP Kaiser, WVW Logan, WEPM Martinsburg, WAJR Morgantown, WSLW White Sulphur Springs, WKKX, and WVLY in Wheeling. I was talking about the president who's taking questions now in the Oval Office. I had a chance to dip into a little bit of that during the commercial break there. And he's on the reflecting pool. He's not on it, but he's discussing. I don't think the reflective pool would be a very safe place to be. He's talking about it right now, and he's talking about how it has leaked, he says, since 1922. That's what he's saying right now, and that he feels that his friend Pirro made a mistake in her ruling or lack of. So we'll get into that a little bit later on. We'll also get into your calls and text. Open line West Virginia coming up at 1-800-765-TALK, 1-800-765-8255, or you can text 304-TALK-304. You're listening to Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. And a reminder that you can follow me on social media, Dave Allen Radio on Facebook or at Dave870 on X. We're back after this. And now we'll go to the Metro News Anchor Desk for a check of local news.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Hey, welcome in. Got you an update on your forecast for your Monday. Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Foothills, mountains, areas of eastern West Virginia. If you're in the light green, there's enough for a slight chance of a shower and storm with some light rain accumulation today. Elsewhere, everywhere else, generally a low chance of a sprinkle with some partly sunny to at times overcast cloud cover lingering. Over the next 5 days, there will be some more measurable rain that should increase again as the week goes on. Some of the higher numbers, the 1/4 to 1/2 inch range with locally higher amounts, favors the foothills, mountains, northern panhandle potentially too. Wednesday onwards, there will be enough for some marginal risks of excessive rain. Again, this starts on Wednesday for some local flash flood potential that exists. That is not the case today, but again, some of the foothill, high elevation spots, southeast West Virginia, there is a low chance of an isolated shower and storm. Best potential does favor southeast, where there's a front away from us. But enough out there. Be mindful of that slight chance. Fly Saver forecast, it starts at home. Tampa, near 88 today. Chance of showers and storms, watching for some heavy rain in areas kind of the up and down the western half of Florida today. From panhandle to panhandle, highs near 80, chance of a sprinkle. Mix of sun and clouds, maybe more clouds than sun lingering for a bit. Some patchy fog, potentially again. Lows around 60 degrees, give or take. For again, foothills, mountains, eastern panhandle, a slight chance of a shower and storm. Low to mid 80s for highs in the lower elevations and lows in the low 60s for you tonight. I'll watch for that slight chance of a shower and storm. Favoring again, foothills, mountains, southeastern areas of the state. Be mindful of some of that fog that develops again overnight tonight and may impact your Tuesday morning drive. To the south, slight chance of showers and storms. Favors foothills, mountains, and southeast. Wednesday onwards, we'll be back to some daily chances of showers and storms with highs generally in the mid.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
A great point.
Join Tony Caridi, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for Three Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com. You want to know what West Virginia is talking about?
It's good to be back in Morgantown today.
Now it's different.
I think it's mostly just business.
What I voted for and what I think makes the most sense.
Well, Dave, this has been a bit of a controversy.
I want to thank the caller last week that said I sounded like Hoppy Kercheval. That was flattering.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line on Metro News Television.
This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com.
Welcome back to the show. 26 away from 3 on a Monday afternoon. It is Metro News Midday. West Virginia's on the rise. New businesses, new opportunities, and a strong, resilient workforce leading the way. Check out the full story, WVNRich.com. A video presentation sponsored by Huntington Bank. Proud to be investing in the future of West Virginia. A personal note here. I don't get down to my hometown of Logan very often, but I am going to be there this Saturday. Logan Regional Medical Center celebrating their 100th anniversary, 100 years in business. They got a big concert planned for the Logan Football Stadium right there on Middleburg Island, and lots of great acts. Ricky Skaggs is going to be there. America's Got Talent winner Landau Eugene Murphy Jr., the Davison Brothers van, not van, well, their van will be there, but the band will be there. Davison Brothers band and Del Nora and Corduroy Brown. I'm trying to think off the top of my head here. The classic voices of soul featuring members of groups like the Four Tops and the Temptations. So it's going to be a great concert. And the great thing is, folks, it's absolutely free. It's 100% free. You want to make that short drive. Well, it's not a short drive if you're in Martinsburg, but if you're in the Charleston area, it's a pretty short drive. And we'll talk about it a little bit later on, but they have asked me and Big Brother Burke to be the MCs. So we'll be heading down there, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in L.A., as we call it. And I understand there's about a 50-50 chance of rain right now. And if it is going to be a big rain event, they're going to move it inside on just matter of feet away to the Logan Memorial Fieldhouse or Willie Akers Arena. So looking forward to going down there and helping Logan Regional Medical Center celebrate their 100th birthday this coming Saturday afternoon. Totally free event. So if you're into music and you're into free music, it doesn't get much better than that lineup. Ricky Skaggs, as I said, and Landau, Davison Brothers Band, and so many more. You can go to the Logan Regional Facebook page if you need more information about that. 1-800-765-TALK. That's the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Somebody sent me a flyer that we've been talking about for this Patrick Morrissey fundraiser, one being held in West Virginia in October and one in September at Napa Valley with the caption, "Reelect me," says a texter. I don't know, but I'll be making the trip out to Napa Valley. I mean, I don't know. Do they have Carlo Rossi? I don't know. I'll look into the giant jugs there. I don't know. But anyway. Text as well. Let me start it over. Text says, tried to text your local show this morning while you were talking to the mayor of Charleston. A bunch of homeless were laying directly in front of City Hall. We have two different text lines for the different shows, okay, for my local show in Charleston and this text line. So, unfortunately, I don't have them both up on the screen at the same time, so I did not see this text that came in this morning, or I would have asked the mayor about that because it's a different text line. So I don't want to give out the local text line now because it'll confuse everybody across the state, but there's a totally different number if you're sending in text to our local shows. Just letting you know. My text, though, now, 304-TALK 304. You can call 1-800-765-TALK. Text, Trump approval has dropped over 15% in West Virginia. I have not seen any recent polling on the president's numbers in West Virginia. I'll have to check into that. Text, there's a new ailment out there. Forget about Trump derangement syndrome. It's now Fauci derangement syndrome, according to a texter. Text, if I have to pay for flock cameras, I want the police force cut. Now, who in their right mind wants the police force? Come on, man, or woman, or whatever. Do better. Do better. Text, it's ridiculous that the governor sat on the clothing vouchers as long as he did and cut off the access early. Even super Republican Larry Pack says so. Well, yeah, Larry Pack did say that, state treasurer. I mean, he put out a statement within moments after the governor's statement went out today. Text, not hard to determine what political party a candidate is from if you look at their online profile. If we continue to accept what our legislators are trying to and succeeding to ram down our throats, we'll continue to rank near the bottom. I think this is in reference. We talked to the co-chair of the Republican Party, Tony Hodge, during the 12 o'clock hour. And one of the things, and again, he did a very good job, I think, of saying it was his opinion. He was not speaking on behalf of the party or anything like that. He would like to see all elections be partisan. So, in other words, school board, magistrates, judges, that you'd have to put the D, the R, the I, Mountain Party, Libertarian, whatever you are, after your name. And I agree. Well, let me just say this. This is where I kind of differ from Tony just a little bit. And Tony and I are great friends. We disagree on a lot, but we also agree on a heck of a lot of stuff, too. He's really a good guy. But I agree with this. It's not hard to find out what somebody's political affiliation is. I mean, really, it's not. I don't know that you have to necessarily have the D or the R or the I, whatever, after their name. But I understand the sentiment. Where's the money been for the kids, Patrick? Well, he laid it out there in his press release earlier. Text, Dave, my son just returned to high school football practice this morning. Hang tight, football is coming. Could not get here soon enough for me. 100%. And when you see, it's getting real when you see Joe Bro out on the road. Joe Brocato, hardest working man in radio, who spent some time with us on the show last hour, and he's here in the Kanawha Valley visiting Herbert Hoover and GW, heading down to my homeland tomorrow, I think, and he's going to be all over the state of West Virginia this week, going to those morning practices, afternoon practice. Some schools even had midnight practices. And, of course, it's going to be – August is here. It's going to be here before you know it. It's here. Football's here. It's here. I spent a lot of time this weekend watching a lot of NFL Network stuff because I am pumped about it. Let me see here. Text, why is there a West Virginia Republican event in Napa Valley, California? I thought West Virginia Republicans hated California and everything it stands for. Well, I mean, it's not fair to say it is a West Virginia Republican event. It is a Patrick Morrissey event that he's choosing to have one in Napa Valley and one in Stonewall here in West Virginia, one in September, one in October. So it's to say it's a West Virginia, let me just say it's a West Virginia Republicans event. It's one particular West Virginian that's choosing to have that. Not saying that others won't be there. I don't know. I didn't get an invite, but it does seem to me, to be, I mean, it would, to me, the equivalent would be a hardcore Democrat hosting an event in Trump country in MAG. I think we need more dialogue, but I just on one hand, when people in the Republican Party love to talk about California Democrats, but then we're going to go have an event in California. But I've never been to California, but I will tell you there are different sections of California, just like there are different sections of every other state. If Charleston is smart, says the texter, it will keep Amy Goodwin as mayor. The city's thriving right now, and I'm here for it, says the texter. 1-800-765-TALK, text 304-TALK 304. Text, thank goodness for the press in this state. If not for the press, we wouldn't know half of the foolishness our state government is involved in. Text, anything good said about Dr. Fauci is a waste of words. Text, dude, quit saying that we don't know if COVID came from a lab leak as if there's no evidence. If you're really interested in answers and evidence, rather than asking the question that suggests the answer you want, please do two things. Get an epidemiologist to explain the evidence that establishes a lab leak is not likely. 2, or read this study on the air, and they sent me a link. I will read that, and I do appreciate it. It's 18 minutes away from 3, 1-800-765-TALK, text 304-TALK 304. It's Metro News Midday. Back after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Morning, TJ Meadows.
Good morning, sir. It's yet another beautiful day to be in pursuit of happiness, is it not?
I like the optimism. Let's see if we can take care of that by the end of the show today, shall we? Any thoughts, Mr. Meadows?
Talkline, available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
At Daniels Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniels is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discovered tailored suits you'll only find in store at Daniels.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then before I entered into congestive heart failure.
We really had to go towards an LVAD. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
We're going to do public math, so it's 31 divided by 4.
Yeah, just under 8 per win.
Just mark it down.
Put Tony and I down for 8, Coach Hunter. Put us on the prediction show for 8. We already got it. There's the math. Just go.
Sportsline on Metro News Television.
Better us.
Welcome back to the show. 14 away from 3 o'clock. It's been kind of quiet weather-wise the last couple of days, although there was some heavy rain that fell yesterday, areas of Greenbrier County and on down that way. Now, we got a chance of showers and thunderstorms throughout the week. If you want to know, though, what's going to happen with the weather, the guy that knows, Metro News meteorologist Brian Hughes. Download the Metro News television app or follow Brian and his team of meteorologists on social media. You'll have all the latest info. 1-800-765-TALK, text 304-TALK 304. Text says, I, too, can't wait for football season so I can see how badly the Mountaineers can disappoint me this year. Oh, ye of little faith. I'm just saying. Come on. I mean, look, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan. I know about disappointment, okay? But you got to go in. Hope springs eternal, man. You got to go in every season saying, this is our year. Want a good season for the Mountaineers over my alma mater, Marshall University, as well. The man with the Mountaineers, Tony Caridi, is actually making a trip down to Charleston this coming Thursday for the Inside Huddle event. And we are efforting as they say, to try to get Mr. Caridi on the show to talk about it on Thursday. Yeah, it's a big event. It's helping. It's a fundraiser for the United Way of Central West Virginia, and Tony will be coming down here. I'll have more information on that, but it's happening Thursday here in Charleston. Looking forward. Hopefully, we can get Mr. Caridi to pay us a visit while he's in town. 1-800-765-TALK, tax 304, talk 304. Any West Virginia politician, says a texter, who goes to the great state of California for Morrissey's money-begging event could be considered a West Coast liberal, coal-hating lover of regulation sympathizer, or they're trying to get further in bed with the tech industry elites. I'm not sure how many West Virginians are going to be there, to be honest. Now, look, I could be wrong. I don't know. I wasn't invited. I probably won't be there. But I'm just saying, I don't know that you're going to have a whole lot of West Virginia politicos there. I might be wrong. Never, says a texter, in the history of this country has a man had to undergo as much as Donald Trump has. 2 or more assassination attempts. The press hates him, and now even Rhino Republicans are going after him. Stay strong, President Trump. West Virginia loves you, says a texter. The president's approval ratings outside West Virginia are not good. And more importantly, as was pointed out a lot, they're not good with independents at all. One thing, says a texter, I've learned is that you can always hire a, quote, expert to say what you want. That's true. That is true. Dave, did you see RFK on with Dana Bash yesterday? He's unhinged, but so is Trump. I did not see it live, but after reading some comments on X about it, I went back and that was pretty bad. And look, the battle between the Dana Bash and RFK yesterday, that was embarrassing. I mean, I'm sorry. It was just embarrassing. And I'm not even totally blaming RFK for it. I mean, we know he's unhinged, but, I guess I've never really been in that position, but like she was. But it was just hard to watch. I mean, it's like a big Springer episode. I mean, I saw it. If you haven't seen it for yourself, I'd say check it out. No, I can't read that. Appreciate it, but thank you. Text, America had better wake up. The Democratic Socialists are trying to take over, and to my sensible Democrat friends, they want control of your party. Here's what they stand for: defunding police, abolishing ICE, defunding the Department of Defense, and abolishing the Senate. That's what the Democratic Party looks like now. I mean, the Democrat Party has got some come to Jesus stuff, but they got to take care of. And there's some big elections here, in Michigan and other places that are coming up that I think is really going to go a long way in deciding the future of the Democratic Party on a national level. I really, really do, because again, you got 2 camps now. You have the traditional mainstream, more, I don't even want to call them moderate, just your average Democrat. And then you've got the DSA movement, and so that's totally, it's different. And look, they see the mainstream Democratic Party as big a problem as Republicans are to them. And so they're going at it. I mean, they are, but I mean, look at West Virginia on the Republican side. West Virginia, we saw it in the legislative session and the primary races. We could, we pretty much say the same thing with the Republican Party in West Virginia as well. Text to the so-called mouth and ear fan who thinks the football team is going to disappoint you. Maybe you should cheer for Pitt or Dave Allen's Marshall team. That's the text. You could be a fan of both Marshall and WVU. You can't be a fan of both Pitt and WVU, though. That's a bridge too far. And as a sports fan, I remember several years ago, as the world's largest Dallas Cowboy fan that I am, we were in a position that I found myself and other Cowboy fans in the not so envious position of having to cheer for the team in Washington because we needed them to knock off somebody so we could go to the playoffs. And you know how difficult that was for me to sit there covered in with my Cowboy jersey, drinking out of my Cowboy mug with my Cowboys hat on, having to cheer for that team in Washington. Do you know how difficult that was for me? So, yeah, I understand. Please, for the love of God, says a texter, fix some potholes in West Virginia. Weekly's got a question waiting on him for Chef Paul here, so maybe I'll answer it. Maybe I'll answer the question for Chef Paul as Chef Paul. Maybe I'll do that. No. We'll leave that on the screen for you, Big Cat. 1-800-765-TALK, text 304-TALK-304. So we didn't have money for vouchers for kids, but we had a Ferris wheel. Yay, says the texter. Thank you, Republican Party, says the texter, for kicking Elliott Pritt out of the party. I'm sure the Democrats will welcome him back. No, I don't think so. Final text, Larry Pack for governor. We need some common sense in there. All right. With that, it's 2:53. We will take a break and wrap it up after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
We're going to do public math, so it's 31 divided by 4.
Yeah, just under 8 per win.
Just mark it down.
Put Tony and I down for 8. Coach Hunter, put us on the prediction show for 8. We already got it. There's the math. Just go.
Sportsline on Metro News Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
Where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniels Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Hey, I take offense of that.
Why would you do that? Because on midday, the last segment, the first thing I hear when those mics go on is you just coughing, and I'm just like, this guy.
Welcome back to the show. We got about 3 before 3 on a Monday afternoon. Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Dave Allen, we're here with you. Stephanie Pauling, Ryan Nicholson, our producer today. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the voice, the guy who provides the voice of the Geico Gecko. It's Dave
Oh,
Weekly.
come on.
It's Dave Weekly.
Well, if I was doing that, I wouldn't be here.
That's true. That's true. You'd
I'd be making the big bucks.
Yeah.
Big
So
bucks.
you and I off the air, we're talking about MTV. I had a reference with Andrew Donaldson to MTV earlier because MTV just celebrated, I guess, August the 1st, 1980.
81. Get it?
Oh, 81. I got you. That's when it came on
45
the air.
years.
Yeah. It's interesting to me, and you can find it easily to go back and look at the rotation of videos that they had at that time. And it's but you told me something I didn't know, that MTV Classic is the lowest rated cable channel there is.
It is the lowest rated channel.
So why do they keep it?
Because they own it.
I guess.
And they have the bandwidth, and they can rip it out there in standard def, in its standard def glory.
I mean, I remember very well when MTV came to town. For me, growing up in Logan, it was the summer of 1985. That's when we first got MTV. They were doing this big promotion where you could win Weird Al Yankovic's car. That was the big promotion. And I mean, because my generation, we grew up on Night Tracks and ABC Rocks and those that's all we had for videos.
Right.
Solid Gold would show one every now and then, but when MTV, I think, man, this is the greatest thing ever.
How about the
But I still have a huge crush on Martha Quinn, by the way.
She got fired by them, and that's when it really started going downhill. Do you remember you would be able to send away for your MTV sticker from Radio City that you were supposed to put on your FM dial to go there to get MTV in stereo, baby?
Do not remember that. So what's your question about MTV?
What are MTV videos you remember waiting around for them to play?
Okay. Well, ZZ Top did some killer stuff in the 80s with Sleeping Bag and Eliminator, the Eliminator album, so maybe one for me.
Well, the number one answer is Thriller.
No, not a fan.
I mean, but that was a huge for them.
It was. All right, this guy and a cast of clowns and others coming up on Hotline to many of these same Metro News stations. I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, have fun and love somebody.